This is the gift of gab with Uncle Floyd. I had to take a nap. Yes, I did. I had to take a nap to juvenile myself. Get all these billions of brain cells back up and running. The time right now is 7:25. And yes, it is. It's the same day. It's the same day, Thursday, August 29th. The sun don't went down and it dropped down to a comfortable 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I was giving you guys a book to read, and I'm going to give you a little bit more. Starting right now, here's another one by Calvin D. Wilson. Black Masters, a side light on slavery. The black slaves in Black slaves, Indian masters. Oh yeah, the warmth of the other sun. Yes, it is. Just trying to give you a little bit more books to read. Put up in your archives because time's going to get harder before they get better. Oh yeah, Black Afro. Black AF history, the unwritten, the unwhitewashed story of America, where the Negroes are masters. Yes, yes indeed. Yes, yes, yes. Up from slavery. That's a good one. Oh yeah. They have so many good books here. I'm trying to, this one here is real good. The Black Family in Slavery and Freedom. You know, you might well get these books, because y'all allowing them to tear down them damn Confederate statues and stuff like that. That's what you're doing. Allowing them to tear them down, and you're clapping as they erase slavery. Yes. The book that I really want to get again is Under the Black Flag. Master of the Black Flag Drum. Under the Black Flag Drum. For some reason, I can't find that one. I'd love to get that book again. Boy, that sleep show did do me some good. My wife is still in there napping. Yeah, I got up and turned on all the outside lights. Yes, I did. And you know what? I thank the gods that were made in their image, and one of their sons, their only begotten son, and the Holy Spirit for sending comforters and keeping us in the hollow of their hand, and keeping all you in the hollow of your hand, of their hands. Yes, indeed. We got to get on back. Got to get our minds right. Some of us has been brought out of the mud by the gods who created us in their image. We were just a broken down vehicle stuck in the mud, and they was the master tow trucks. And they brought us out of drug addiction, alcoholism, smoking cigarettes, gambling. Yes, indeed. Some of us have been brought out of homelessness. We all have been in rock bottom. Maybe not in the sense of the things that I just mentioned, but we all have hit rock bottoms. Some of us is orphans, have both parents gone on to glory. Yes, indeed. And that's the definition of being an orphan, when your biological parents is no longer here, where the blood is flowing warmly through their veins. And one day, not just every little boy and girl, every grown man, young and old, is going to become an orphan. Yes, they are. Yes, boy, I tell you, that sleep juvenile. I went and picked up a night-sized seeded watermelon. If you're going to eat vegetables, if you're gonna eat fruit, always make sure they got the seeds in them, because them seeds is good for your body, and you can put those seeds, or you can put one of those fruits in some good soil, and they'll reproduce. Yeah, vegetables, especially fruit, that don't have seeds in them, like when we was growing up, is artificially made. Taste the same, but they not. Go on YouTube and look at people buying fruit, grapes and watermelons and other vegetables and stuff out of Walmart. Biggest supplier. Yeah. And they got making little videos of how the fruit and vegetables is not deteriorating as they leave them sitting out for days and weeks at a time, or they open them up because they just got the taste of a good grape or watermelon or banana, and they see. And that goes for the meat too. But hell, they had a thing on there, right? Even that damn bacon is dog meat, some of it. And the FDA just let them get away with it. And we talk about over there in Orient, or the Philippines and Vietnam and China and Japan, that they eating dogs and stuff. We don't even know what we're really eating. Gotta pay close attention. But hell, what damn choice do we have? Pay attention to what you eat. The fibers of the vegetables and the rice and the meat and the fish. If it don't look right, it ain't right. If it don't look right, it ain't right. Hey, I was on social media last night. I didn't know they had an open mic somewhere on PCH every Tuesday. Yeah, every Tuesday, somewhere on PCH. I got it written down in my composition notebook, so I can keep my sanity and listen to some humor, live entertainment. Because in the book of Proverbs, it said, laughter is the best medicine for any man. And I just added on boy and girl, because laughter is good. Laughter make you smile. Laughter make you cry. That laughter make you clap your hands and stomp your feet. Laughter, just like in church. Church, yes indeed. Laughter coming together. It reminds me of a little joke, and this is just my sanctified mind. When Peter was just worried about how more than the 5,000 people was going to eat. He was sitting next to Jesus, right? And I can just see him now. This is just my sense of humor. And Jesus just busting up laughing, right? And Jesus telling him, I'm going to pull out 5,000. I'm going to feed the multitudes with just 5,000 fish and some bread. See, Jesus knew exactly how he was going to feed those that was hungry and starving. It was a joke to him. But I can see Peter now just worrying, pulling that one strand of hair out of his head. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I remember back in the day, it was my younger days, I used to dress in some of the best garments that was known to man, and I was sitting down there listening to some jazz one day. There was a beautiful young lady caught my eye. So she came over there to me. I didn't go over to her, so I knew what she was all about. So we had a couple of drinks, and I said, hey, how about us going back up to your room, and I'll give you $1,000 for 2 hours. She said, well, sure. So we go up to her room, and she about to stick a key in the door, and I pat my pocket. I said, you know what? I got to go back downstairs. and have them cash this cashier check. And she said, they not going to cash no cashier's check this time of night for you. I said, what do you mean? I said, I own 35% of this hotel. They going to do it. She said, let me see that cashier check. She looked at it. She said, it sure is a cashier's check. She said, why don't you just make it out to me? I said, is you out your cotton picking mine? And we went into her room. And we had a good time for 2 hours. And she ended up giving me $400 back. And that's exactly what that good time cost me. Her $400. Yeah. I used to always walk around with a bogus cashier check. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, Einstein died and went to heaven, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say it like this here. Einstein died and finds himself up in heaven. He has his beloved violin with him that he loves more than physics, even more than women. Yeah. So Einstein was bored. He walked around heaven all day, all night, for a couple of days and a couple of nights. So one day he was so bored walking around heaven, ladies and gentlemen. So he decided to tune up his violin. So he take it out the case, and as he getting ready to hit it with their wand, the angels came over to him. They said, don't do that. Einstein said, why? They said, because God is a saxophonist. He ain't gonna like that. So Einstein put his violin back in his case, and he walking around heaven day after day after day, just bored. So this one particular day that Einstein was walking around heaven, he heard God playing his saxophone. Yes, he was, ladies and gentlemen. Einstein heard God playing Let's Take the A Train. Y'all heard of that old relic that stands the test of time? So Einstein pulls out his violin. He said, I'm going to play with God. I don't care what none of y'all say. I'm going to play with God. We going to play and we going to make beautiful music together. So Einstein starts playing. God immediately stops, rushes down to where Einstein was and kicks him in his balls. Einstein grabs his balls with one hand and his violin up in the air with his other hand. And God grabs his violin and throws it down on the streets paved with gold and crushes it with one foot, and immediately got back up on his throne. He playing Let's Take the A Train. So one of the angels came down to Einstein and said, see, we tried to warn you. Einstein said, what about warning me? Well, you should never, ever try to play with God. Yeah. It's another one that I enjoyed. This young prospect, you got the motorcycle guys, these guys want to be in a motorcycle club, and they call prospects. So this one person died and went to heaven. So you got Abraham, Isaac, and Moses up there. They always greeting the prospects. So one day they went up to the young prospect. They say, we want you to go over there and we ask God, where is he going back? Is he going back to earth again this year for vacation? So the young angel go over there and he said, God said, yeah. They sent me over here to ask you, were you going back to earth again for vacation this year? And God let out a big roar and a laugh. Because Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they always like pulling a prank on God, And God loved to laugh himself. He said, I want you to go back there. You tell them don't send you back here again. So he go back and tell them, and they send him back again. They said, God, they told me for you to give them the answer. So God told him, he said, listen, I'm going to say this to you one time. I don't want you to come back into my face, in my presence, unless I call you myself. He said, yes. He said, you go back there and you tell them, they know darn well I was down there on earth over a millennium ago, and I ended up getting a little Jewish girl pregnant. And them earth things haven't stopped talking about it since, out of all the things that I have done. I like that one. And that's just my spiritual humor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can rewind that there and play it back, get you a little bit of a laugh, a joint. And you Christians are just so serious, right? You don't have to listen to that joke, but that's just my sanctified humor. Here's another one. But this one is true. You know, in 1998, I was called to come home because my dad was on his bed of affliction. And this is a true story right here, ladies and gentlemen. My dad had me just laughing. So I get home to Buffalo, New York, and he and his laying on his bed of affliction. And I'm sitting up in the room, just him and I. And I remember growing up as a kid, he used to always tell me, if you can't laugh, you know, you might as well die. So he said, Floyd, he said, I want you to send for my pastor, my attorney. So I go out and call them. After about an hour and a half, 2 hours, the pastor and his attorney came in, and my dad laying in the bed. I'm sitting in the chair, leaning against the wall, facing my dad, and he winked at me. And I winked back. He lay in the bed, and he opened his arms like this here, motioned for the pastor and his attorney. And so when he gripped their hands, he had a monkey grip on his bed of affliction. And he motioned for them to sit down in them chairs on each side. And so he just looking up at the ceiling. And I'm trying to hold it in the best that I could. So his pastor, after about an hour and a half, said, Brother Livingston, we know you wanted us here on time of need. He said, but could you please tell us why you wanted us here? So my dad took a big sigh, let the air out. And he looked over at his attorney. But he was also talking to his pastor. He was looking at his attorney. He said, you know, Pastor, you know Jesus died between two thieves. Pastor said, yeah. He said, well, if it was good enough for Jesus, that's exactly how I want to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's just something to put you to sleep for tonight. But like I said, y'all need to get that book I talked about earlier. Yeah. And get some of these books. Because you need to have it in your archive. Need to have it in your archives. So you can sit down and read to your kids, even though they're grown. They don't know what we know. And your grandkids, and your great-grandkids, and your great-great-grandkids. And then when the blood turned cold in our veins, and we're no more after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, our kids could read it to their kids, and then their kids could read it to their kids, and their kids, and their kids. And once again, please, stand up. All of us have been told if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Next time they're talking about tearing down some of these Confederate statues, please, let your voice be known. Don't let the entertainers say they need to go ahead and erase it. You know, they get the money back. Like I said, the Jews, the Japanese, shit, they ain't letting you know. I mean, they ain't letting you take away their artifacts. They want you to know what white history did to them and their people. So we need to make sure we be a part of what white American history did to us. Let them not continue to erase what our forefathers had been through. The original people that was here and the Africans that came here. Yes, indeed. Hey, this is The Gift of Gab with Uncle Floyd, and I am Uncle Floyd. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking out the time to be with me on my show, The Gift of Gab with Uncle Floyd. Matter of fact, before I sign off, let me go right here. I want to go right here. Make sure y'all can follow me. Let me go right here. All right. Well, make sure y'all can follow me right now. Yeah. Okay. Now that I have y'all live on Facebook, because you already been live on Twitch. If you don't know about Twitch, it's more popular than Spotify. In Riverside Studios, where I'm broadcasting from, owns Spotify. So that's why there is no more Spotify. And then you have Twitch. Yes, indeed. That's a large, gargantic platform, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have YouTube. So if you do not catch me on Facebook, you can catch me on Twitch. Download that app. You hear me? And just put in my name. Y'all know my name. And then if you don't, and I know many of you do have YouTube, you get to see all of my past episodes. Yes. Oh, one more time, why it's on my mind. You got to check out that show I told y'all about last week when I was just bored and I just happened to turn my TV on and they had Paul Mooney to End of Time or something like that there, man. He ripped those damn people, boy. One of the most funniest things that I heard Paul Mooney say was that them white folks, they had killing each other. Didn't want us involved with that war. Our blood wasn't good enough, and that was fine too. And he said that there's some crazy ass crackers. Paul Mooney just spoke like it was. He said, them crazy crackers, they sitting up watching silent movies. He said they took away our drums because we were giving signs and stuff like that. So black folks invented time dancing, and the white folks thought that they were being entertained. He said they didn't have a clue that it was a message in them tap dancers. When they were tap dancing, they were saying at 10 p.m. meet Harriet at the lake. Oh man, I love Paul Mooney. Yes, I do. And George Carlin is another one. Oh man, I love when they just keep it real. Keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real. And don't forget what I said. Don't forget what I said. If you ain't got no money, don't invest no money. But this ain't the time for poor folks to invest money. They get ready to change their currency. You know? And all investments is going to be lost. And like I told you, if you got some money, you want to double it real quick. Fold that shit in half and put it in your pocket.